Good evening, sir. I am Aishwarya from BBA 3rd SEM. My roll number is 19008. Today, I am going to present about the Yoga, a divine spirituality. First, we shall know the word Yoga. The word Yoga is very well known for each and every one of us. It has been in existence since many years ago. It has been practicing from ancient people since ancient times. Nowadays, the tragedy is some people may not even aware of the yoga, or they may not be interested in practicing the yoga. Instead, they may opt for other substitutes like gym, jogging, walking, etc. Well, even these are also the form of exercise, but yoga acts as a vital part which can be adopted very easily for each and every individuals. And a special day on June 21st is celebrated as International Yoga Day. Yoga and meditation cannot be separated. Meditation is a process which helps to experience the union with the divine. Also, yoga helps to transform the individuals both physically as well as mentally. History of yoga. Yoga, no doubt, has its own historical importance, meaning to say that the main historical thing is yoga is evolved from the Hinduism. The ancient peoples have been practicing since ancient times, and the father of the yoga is Patanjali, and yoga is derived from the Sutra literature, and it comprises over 196 sutras, and the scholar sages of ancient India devised this sutra system. Like this, yoga is likely to be developed as a systematic study from around 5th and 6th centuries for around 3000 BCE from ancient times. And the teachings of yoga were on the fragile palm leaves, where they used to write the teachings of the yoga in the palm on the palm leaves. And the main tragedy is they can be easily destroyed, damaged, or lost. And some researchers or scholars, they predict or they think that yoga is for about 10,000 years old, but we don't know the exact time for the evolvement of the yoga. The word yoga is derived from the Sanskrit word yuj, which means to unite or to join. So, as per these yogic scriptures, the practice of the yoga leads to the union of the individual consciousness. And it is believed that Shiva is seen as the first yogi or Adi Yogi, and Guru or Adi Guru. From the very first ancient sages, it has been adopted to the next generation, and from them it has been adopted to the next generation. Like this, it has been transformed from one generation to another generation, and we are now in this stage now, and it is important and necessary to pass and reach out this practicing of yoga for upcoming generations even. Next, yoga as a religion. We have a saying that yoga is for everyone, for every religion, and every community to feel the divine presence within oneself. So it means though yoga may evolve from the Hinduism, but it do not pose any restrictions like only Hindu should practice the yoga and other religion or community should not practice the yoga. No, it is not like that. Each and every religion and community in the country can easily adopt this practice of yoga. For example, we can take even foreigners love to adopt this yoga, and they are even practicing the yoga. Um, and they also have some yoga classes in abroad. So we can by this we can know the extent of the widespread of our tradition yoga, and we should feel very proud of it. Next, yoga has been created by Hinduism because to experience the consciousness of the God and not to be stuck with any other beliefs or any other concept of the God. Yoga is something which produces unstoppable and incredible results. Every problem cannot be solved through the knowledge. Instead, we should have some knowledge about ourselves, that is Atman. So, in order to experience the self, yoga is the only way in which we can know about ourselves. Next, yoga as a divine spirituality. Here, the word divine means to be connected to a god. Next, spirituality means the things which is opposed to the physical things. So, these both words, divine and spirituality, means the mental aspect. So, yoga as a divine spirituality means yoga as a mental aspects. Yoga not only helps individual to transform only through physical aspects. Instead, they can be transformed both physically as well as mentally. That is, it helps to transform the individual to gain the spiritual aspects as well as mental aspects. And the individual who practices yoga can have the great feeling of their inner self, and they are imbibed or connected to the god, and they are completely satisfied, and they can improve their mental health, which is very vital part in the individual's life. Paths of yoga. We have a saying from Mahatma Gandhi, that the paths are many, but the truth is one. Here in this yoga, we have many paths, but the truth is one. That is the yoga. It do not go beyond the yoga. So we have mainly four paths of yoga, which is Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, and the last one is Gnana Yoga. Karma Yoga is the path of action. Bhakti Yoga is the path of devotion. And Raja Yoga is the path of mind control. Gnana Yoga is the path of knowledge. Next, types of yoga. We have many types of yoga. In this, we have some main 11 types of yoga, which can be as Vinyasa Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Iyengar Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bikram Yoga, Yin Yoga, Restorative Yoga, Prenatal Yoga, Anusara Yoga, and the last one is Jiva Mukti Yoga. We shall know what each one mean. First is Vinyasa Yoga. It deals with the athletic yoga styles. And Hatha Yoga is the postures for the beginners. And Ayangari Yoga, it is the postures for controlling the breaths. Kundalini Yoga is releasing the Kundalini energy which is trapped in the spine, legs, etc. Next is Ashtanga Yoga. It is a series of standing and floor postures. Bikram Yoga is focusing on proper alignments. Yin Yoga is based on the seated postures. Restorative yoga is based on the body relaxation. Prenatal yoga is the exercise for expectant moms. Anusara yoga focuses on the mind, body, and heart connection. Jiva Mukti yoga is a series of poses that align with tenets for Jiva Mukti. Next, we have some 8 steps for the types of yoga. We shall see the step 1 and 2, that is Yama and Niyama. Both these word Yama as well as Niyama is derived from the Sanskrit word which means restraint or avoidance. The word Yama means avoidance and the word Niyama means observance. We have over 5 Yamas and 5 Niyamas, which can be explained as follows. So here we have 5 Yamas. Yama number 1 Ahimsa, Yama number 2 Satyam, Yama number 3 Asteyam, Yama number 4 Brahmacharya, Yama number 5 Aparigraha. So first one, Ahimsa means to avoid violence. Satyam means truth, that we should not tell any lies. Asteyam is non-stealing, and Brahmacharya is refraining from relations. And Aparigraha is non-hoarding or non-possessiveness. So these are the 5 types of Yamas. And we have 5 types of Niyamas. Niyama number 1 Saukam, Niyama number 2 Santosham, Niyama number 3 Tapam, Niyama number 4 Swadhyaya, Niyama number 5 Ishvara Pranidhana. Niyama number 1 Saukam, which Saukam means the cleanliness. Santosham is contentment with regard to material possessions. And Tapa means keeping the mind and sensory organs in our control. Swadhyaya is knowing about ourselves. And the last one is Ishvara Pranidhanam, which is surrendering to the Lord. So these 5 types of Yamas as well as 5 types of Niyamas are listed out by the Patanjali. Next is steps 3 and 4. Asana and Pranayama. Asana means it deals with the physical postures. And Pranayama means it deals with the mental aspects which can be said as meditation. Next steps are steps 5 and 6. That is Pratyahara and Dharana. Pratyahara is the withdrawing of the sense from their sense objects, and Dharana is the focusing the mind on the object which we have chosen for our meditation, like the image of the god like Devi, Sri Ram, etc. Next, step 7 and 8, which is Dhyana and Samadhi. If Dharana is the first stage of the meditation, next Dhyana is the middle stage and the Samadhi is the last stage. Samadhi is the complete effortless absorption in divine. Divine and spirituality. Divine means to be connected with the God, and spirituality is something which is opposed to the physical things. So, it transforms the individual in gaining the spiritual aspects by attaining the divine and spiritualness. It helps the individual to gain the mental health, to control one's mind, and many more except physical fitness. It includes a sense of connection to the self. It helps to transform the positive thinking and as well as positive emotions like peace, contentment, gratitude, and acceptance. Next, emotional health is about cultivating a positive state of mind, that is to have a positive thinking, positive emotions, etc. So, by practicing of yoga, one can attain the divineness and spirituality other than physicalness. Having a good and neutralized mental health is as important as having a physical fitness. They are connected to a god and they feel themselves very satisfied that they derive their mental thinking capacity. Next, importance of yoga. We have many importance of yoga. It helps the individual in gaining the physical fitness as well as mental health. So here it brings together the physical and mental disciplines to achieve a peaceful body and mind. The physical level includes the asanas and the mental level includes the pranayama and meditation. So Bhagavad Gita says a person is said to have achieved yoga, the union with the self, when the perfectly disciplined and gets freedom from all desires and becomes absorbed in the self alone. Yoga is not a religion. It is a way of living that aims towards a healthy mind in a healthy body. For example, we can take as a person may be of short temper or they may not be having a control over their mind, they are overstressed, etc. So for this problem, by practicing the meditation as well as yoga, one can overcome this stress and tension as well, in which it activates the nervous system so that they can be fit both physically as well as mentally. And when it comes to children, they may lose concentration in listening to their class. They may not get back what their teachers are teaching. So through the practice of yoga and meditation, the children can gain concentration very easily so that they can be fit both physically as well as mentally. So by this we can conclude that the practicing of the yoga do not pose any restrictions based on religion, community, age, etc. Even the small age children till old age people can also practice the yoga so that they can have a balanced health in their life. So like this, each and every person of age can adopt and practice the yoga. So it will be very good to maintain a good health both physically and mentally by attaining the mental health and gain physical fitness by gaining the divine as well as spirituality. So this is all about the yoga, a divine spirituality. Thank you.